Hello, hello, hello. Got this music cranked up way too loud in my ear. There we go. We got some ambience. All right. Welcome back. Haven't streamed in a while, but I am back and I'm painting the Norn Assimilator today. So I started off by just priming everything black. Did it in a sub-assembly. So we got his arms, his other arms, his head, face, all of that good stuff. Got my wet palette. I think we are good to go. So I'm going to actually start with this base. And I'm going to put the texture paint on here so that it'll have some time to dry while I work on the rest. So where is my texture paint? I really reorganized everything the other day. So I don't know where anything is anymore. But it's all nice and clean. So, all right, I have one of these scraper tools. And I'm just going to get this all over on the flat part of the base. Get the texture paint all on there. Oh, there goes the heater furnace. Hopefully that's not too noisy. Try to maybe limit that out. Unfortunately, my setup is in the utility room of the house, underneath the stairs. And it is cold outside today, so got some heat's going. Just gonna see if we can do something about this. I got the noise suppression on, so hopefully that's doing it for us. Ah, looks like you can't. That's not even coming through unless I'm talking, maybe. But that's okay. Alright, so almost done with this. Almost done with this base. Just gonna finish getting that texture paint all around. This stuff takes the longest to dry, so I like to get it done first if I can, because then by the time I get around to washes in the base, usually it's dry, and I don't have to leave this sit for a few hours and wait for it to dry. I'm all about that efficiency. Let's get closer. Oh, now you can see the camera in my shot. Okay. How's that? That's a little better. A little bit closer to the action. Gonna get this all around the base and move on to something a little bit more interesting. All right. Okay, so we got that done, and now just gonna move on to doing the skin. And for this, I like to use dry brush. Got a couple ones. This one might be big enough, or small enough, I should say. Yeah. All right. I'm actually gonna try something new and build up my greens. So normally I just do Elysian green, but I'm gonna try doing a Castellan green first, and then build up the Elysian green. Just because it's such a bigger model, add a little bit more variation, more detail. And get us here so it's not just a black to green. We'll see how that looks. This is the first time I've done that with my Tyranids, this scheme. So I'm just gonna get that on my brush. I like to use an old clipboard to work the paint around on my brush, the dry brush. There. Kitchen towel, paper roll, whatever you call it. And just start gently dry brushing that green on. We'll see if this makes a difference in the end result. A little bit more light on in here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's see a lot better in the natural light here, or it's not coming through in this camera very well, but that's layering on real nicely. Just going to go over all the skin areas, the fleshy areas, this dark green. Just kind of going in little circles. Get some more on my brush. Build up from black. go. It's very subtle, but I think this will make a difference in the long run. Instead of just going straight to Elysian green. Get it all in there. Yeah. And let's see here. Everywhere else just looks like it's, I suppose, these little mini sighting talons on his shoulders. Get those. And these flesh hooks. These little squid tentacles coming out the back. Get those greenish. All right, and then move on to, I'll do the head next. My lights isn't working. There we go. That's a little bit better. Is that helpful? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Better than nothing. Just gonna get that green build up on the flesh. This is really dark. And then on the scything talons. Get it on there real good. Ooh, I like this song. It's spooky. Reminds me of Alien. And these things. It's pretty gnarly looking. Not sure what color to make all these weapons of his, or hands, arms, appendages, whatever you want to call them. Just gonna get some work done. Spooky. There we go. That's looking pretty good. I like that. A little subtle build-up. Alright, I'm gonna get my brush off a little bit. Actually bring it out. So many bristles on this brush. And for large dry brushes like these, I just like to take a little isopropyl alcohol, or a little Tupperware container. Just work it through the bristles. Oops. So we gotta hold on to the brush. And it'll get the paint right out. You can also use that airbrush cleaner. Used that in the past, but that's a little bit more expensive and alcohol is a lot cheaper, so make that out. Dry it off. Boom. Pretty clean. These dry brushes I'm using are actually makeup brushes. They are much cheaper. Now because I did the big brush, I'm going to actually try using just the Citadel dry brush size for the Elysian green. We'll see how that works out for us. Give that a good shake. Just work that on the palette a little bit in the brush. Close the paint can, pot. Just working the bristles on my clipboard here. Yeah, that looks about right. So we're just going to pick out the raised fragments. Normally I do this with just Elysian green and do like an overbrush, but sometimes it ends up looking a little strong in some areas, so I'm hoping the dark green initial dry brushing will allow me to be a little bit more gentle with the Elysian and not have it be so intense. Focus. Yeah, you can kind of see it on this camera. It's but yeah, this is looking real nice. To get a better better camera so you can see the colors a bit better for this. We'll see if it comes through in the top better. Oh yeah. Yeah, colors are much stronger on the top. But yeah, you can see with this nice green, black kind of look here. Just gonna pick out maybe just did a little bit too much there, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Done is better than perfect. I forgot who said that. I saw someone on YouTube say that, and it's a good motto, because if we strive for perfection, we would never get anything finished, and we'd never be content or happy. Yeah. Kind of see the head there. More paint on my brush. Look at the bristles on my clipboard. And we're just going to carefully flick at the raised areas. Amazing what you can do with a little bit of dry brushing. It's a secret weapon. Oh yeah, I'm a fan of the double green. Should have done this sooner, actually. You can build like a nice little ramp from dark to light contrast. It really just comes together. Makes a big difference. Yeah, so for this, I'm just gonna, I'll probably paint this a little bit different, but just gonna work on the little tentacle bit sticking out on the base here. Give them a little color. I might just go over these purple though, or the pink colors. Yeah. I like that. Alright, so clean off my brush. Alright, so I'm gonna put that aside. Dry brush is pretty clean. You know what, I'm just gonna soap it up real quick. And I'm gonna get some fresh water. Alright, so we got some fresh water. Just gonna work some of the soap in my brush. Back in the water. Just go back and forth on the paper towel. That's pretty clean. And we'll put you back. All right. All right, so now I think the next step is going to be the carapace. And or actually, maybe we'll do, this is something I did on the Norn Emissary. We're doing the assimilator, so turned out really well. I like the way it turned out, so we're going to do that with this one too. We're going to do a little bit of a glaze of Screamer Pink onto some bits like along the tail here, on these tentacles coming out the back, and maybe even a little bit by the hands on the talons. Oh, probably on these arms too, I'm thinking. So I'm just gonna take some of this on my palette and I'm gonna mix in quite a bit of water, I think. It's a very opaque paint. It's got a strong pigment, so a little bit will go a long way. I'm actually gonna wash it out of my brush. Just yeah, this is still really strong, so I'm gonna thin it out even more. Some more water in there. Now I'm gonna paint over this later so I can actually test it out on. Yeah, that might be just about the consistency I'm looking for. I rather have it thinner than too thick because you can always add more coats. So I'm just going to start about midway down this last section of tail and then push it back towards the tip of the tail. So if you're doing something where you want a color to kind of, when you're glazing a color and you want to kind of go from a lighter to a darker, make sure you're pushing in the direction that you want it to be darkest. So I want it to be lightest up here, so I'll start up here and then push the paint and liquid back towards the tip of the tail where I want it to be a little bit more darker and opaque. And often when you're doing glazes, it might go on kind of strong, but then as it dries, it'll start to lighten up a little bit. So I'm going to just do the same thing. And he's got like these kind of fleshy bits coming out here. I think that would also look good. If you give it a little bit of a pop of color. Maybe even under his shoulder pauldrons. We'll probably just paint over the shoulder carapace pieces with the color, main color, when we get to that. And then these guys, I also want to do similar treatment with this Screamer Pink. It's just such a fun contrast color. And it kind of contrasts the green I know you think green and pink is like a bad or ugly kind of mixture, but if you have the right shades, it actually looks kind of neat, kind of alien. Which is what I'm going for. Yeah, I like that. Kind of looks more purple in this camera. Get it to focus. Show you the color from the top. Yeah, the color on this one is a little bit more true to what it looks like in person here. Yeah, so his tail's already dry. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit more glazing on the tail. I'm going to start maybe about halfway up from when I started last time, just to ensure that we get a nice smooth blend from light to dark. And if it's not enough, then just wait till it dries and just repeat the process, kind of decreasing your starting point the further back you go. Okay, so let's do the talon here. Yeah, we're going to start about midway up the forearm here. Go towards the talon. There we go. Oh, this always makes me a little nervous because it looks very pink when it first goes on. But then once it starts to dry, it comes together. Do the same on this. I'll add some nice variation to the skin because otherwise it's all just kind of the same. And we want this creature to look a little bit more unique or more powerful than the rest of the other units in the army. Just want to stand out a little bit. Yep, so starting at like the midpoint of the forearm here, just pulling the Screamer Pink down towards the tips of the fingers. Oh, I wonder, should I do... Maybe I should do some of that on the inside of this carapace hood. So we got these fleshy bits on the inside under here. Just add a little bit of pink on the inside. You can't really see. So a little dark from that angle. Alright, we are about dry on the siding talons, so I'm just going to go over that again. Just make that a little bit more pronounced. There we go. Now I think, yeah, maybe we'll do a little bit more on these hands too. Just more so on this center spike, his middle finger. Yeah, it's coming together real nice. I liking it. Alright, I think it's time to start on the carapace. Make sure my shade brush is nice and clean. Okay. Let me quick adjust something real quick on this camera. This looks pretty white. That's what we want. How does this look? A little bit better. A little bit better. I'll take it. All right. Okay. So let's do the carapace. I'm going to start with Incubi Darkness. Just get an initial base coat on there. And we're going to go over that with Thunderhawk Blue. I'm using a big brush for this because got a lot of space to cover. Get a bit of that on my palette. Add some water just to thin it down a bit. And we will start. I'll start with the head. Just gonna carefully, avoiding contact with the skin. Just get a nice coat of Incubi on here. This could probably be skipped and just I could go straight to the Thunderhawk Blue, but it might take me more coats to do that. Whereas this only a nice base coat which I can cover up, and this Incubi Darkness under tint might kind of help the color look a bit more interesting. That's what I'm hoping for. I can't remember if this is what I did for the Norn Emissary. It's already been over a month since I painted that one. Haven't painted in a while because I've been doing a lot of video editing lately on the City of the Living Dead narrative campaign. Episode 2 just went up today. You should probably go check it out. Spiky! Yes. Hello, Avery. I see you've joined me. It's just myself and my thoughts at the moment, and painting some Tyranids. But that's okay. Gotta get some on these talons. Yes. Just gotta stick to the process. Alright, so we got a little bit of scales on the back of his hand. Just be very careful with this big old brush. There we go. Much better. And his big middle finger. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Alright. Do the big torso section next. It's quite a bit of carapace to paint. Guess I'll start with this middle section. Ever so carefully. All right, and now on to the main part of it. It's kind of tricky because like the carapace fuses into his under skin color. So maybe this Incubi Darkness will work as like a nice transitioning color as it changes. On the shoulder there, you got some skin down here and like this little part that comes around here. It's like part carapace, part regular skin or flesh color or texture, so it's a little tricky. Should they be distinct or should they blend? Alright, this is where we'd be using a lot of paint. Just gonna get that all around. Careful not to get on the tentacles. And it does have the brains in here. Maybe I should paint those next before I do the other color of the carapace. Just because it's easier to paint inside out, generally speaking. We got half of it. I might use some more paint. It's using quite a bit. All right. Just gonna carefully get this bit on this middle tentacle. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to come back here and do the brains next. Just gonna get in here. Won't worry about being neat because I'll just paint over it with the brain color. Just get that incubi darkness all around. Alright, this lighting is bothering me. We're going to move you over here. Bear with me 1 second. Oh my gosh. Can't quite. These only articulate so much. Is this better? Can you see more? A little bit. Just did a rookie lighting mistake. Big lights over there. That way. Camera is this way. So light shining into the camera or towards the camera. So from this side we get some really good fill, but this side it's a little shadowy. And unfortunately that's the close-up cam. So I will get that fixed for next time. Better lighting setup. My apologies. And speaking of next time, I'm looking at doing this every Monday evening. Little hangout, do some painting, do some chat interaction, or at the very least I'll just paint and talk about what I'm doing. So if anyone's coming back and watching this after the fact, maybe you'll find it interesting. We'll see. Really is a lot of carapace on this guy. But I like the scheme on the Tyranids. It goes pretty quick. It's kind of like a updated version of my childhood scheme when I first started collecting years and years ago. Time to clean the brush. Alright. Explore Incubi. Darkness. Some more water. Clean this out just a little bit. It's a thick color. It's nice and opaque too, so you can thin it out real good and it'll get some good coverage. I'm not going on too thick. Some colors are like that. And some are just the exact opposite. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go Incubi Darkness on the inside of these carapace armholes, whatever you want to call them. And we'll get this carapace on his little baby T-Rex siding talons. Oh yeah. Alright. Incubi Darkness. And this, I think, is done. Now we'll just do the legs. Get some bits on the base. I guess we'll start with this little treasure trail going down the midsection. And down these legs. On the thighs. Keep forgetting sometimes there's a camera. I gotta tilt my work so that it can be seen. And doing the legs, the feet. I like this model. It's very classic Tyranid monster feeling, but also pretty new as well. So the other new Leviathan Tyranids are a little. Uh, they feel Tyranids, but they're different. You know, like the Psychophage. That one's probably one of the most different. I like it though. It's a cool model. Interesting unit. I think the surprise MVP of that box is the Barb Gods. They are just nasty, slowing down the opponent. Using them in a list tomorrow. See how they do. Also using the Norn Emissary in a list tomorrow. It'd be pretty funny if I could finish this guy up in time. I don't think that's happening though. But a Norn Emissary and an Assimilator in the same list would be just silly. But this carapace painting is actually going pretty fast. Not too bad. Once you get to the highlights, though, that's when everything just grinds to a halt. Oh, my neck. I've done it now. Lastly, I'm just going to get the carapace on the tail. There we go. Oh, I suppose I should do these guys. Wash my brush out first. It's been a hot minute. Gotta make sure you're washing your brush often. Keeps them in good shape for a long time. Just gonna get these spore chimney growths. I'm not sure what these are. They're kind of like spore chimneys, but there's like smaller ones, big tall ones. They all have this general shape. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. We got this last one here. All right. Wash out the brush. Let's try this. So I was going to do the brains on the inside of here. But the paint is still drying in there, so maybe I should do something else while I wait. Or I could hit that with the air dryer. See what I'm up in here. Just touch that up. Okay. Yeah, it's a little thin. Well, I suppose we could start on the some of the gray on the talents. Yeah, we'll do that next. So I will try. What color? What shade of gray? Mechanicus? Yeah, I think Mechanicus. Mechanicus Standard. I can go down in size on brushes too, just because that one's a little big. the Mother, this one's called. This one's the Hoarder. Goofy names for brushes. Those are supposedly Kolinsky Sable. They're not bad. Decent brushes. Alright, so just going to carefully get the talons on the head. Mechanica Standard. Oh, I just saw something. There's some carapace bits on the neck I did not paint. Rookie mistake. I'll have to go back and touch that up. Alright. Also, while I have the head out, I'm just going to wash off the brush real quick. And I'm going to grab some of the Screamer Pink. And we're going to paint the tongue real quick. And we'll leave the little spiky bit on the end. We'll paint that Mechanica Standard Gray. Here we go. We'll also paint the teeth Mechanica Standard Gray. Focus. There you go. Focus! Come on. This thing, surprisingly, the focus works pretty well up close. When it wants to behave. Alright. So let's get these teeth. Gotta be precise. I made a little bit of mess of his gums, but when I go back later with Norn oil, that'll clean right up just fine. There we go. Head. Mechanica Standard Gray. Done. Okay. Let's do these little arms next. Alright, so we got these finger claws. Get those grayed up. This music, by the way, it's not bad for being royalty free. Ten out of 10 would stream with again. Alright, let's get the other hand. Go a little bit quicker with this. I can't hear any music. Oh, is that a fact? What about now? Have I just been jamming out in my ears this whole time? Yeah, okay, I just had it down too low. Is it too loud? Can you hear my voice just fine? Or is it overpowering? Is it too loud? No? Yes? All good. Cool. Just in time. All right. Moving on. Scything Talons. All the Scything Talons. Oh, this is my favorite. It's got the epic bass drops. I may have used it in a video or two. And graze down on that hand. Next hand. Oh, gotta clean my brush. Paint's starting to dry. Mechanic is standard gray. It's also another one of those good base paints that you can thin pretty well, and it still covers quite nicely. Not all paints are created equal, unfortunately. All right. Alright, so we're making some good progress on this. Alright, so this is kind of a trial run, new setup. Starting to get back in the rhythm. So I'm going to try to do this every week on Monday evenings, 7 p.m. Central. And yeah, I'll just be painting or assembling something, and we can hang out and chat. Yeah, I can kind of share what I'm doing. So, but with that, I think I will end the stream tonight. A little bit of a slow evening. That's okay. I'm happy with the progress I made so far in this. It's really coming along, and I'm sure it'll be done in no time. Alrighty. Well, thanks for watching, and if you caught this after the fact, thank you for watching. And yeah, check out the battle reports and check out the other videos on the channel. Got some great wargaming content. Alright, catch you later. Bye-bye.